Hello, hello. Grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening, and grand rest wherever you are. This is Soul Sisters of the Violet Flame back again for yet another session with the Starseeds. Storytelling for the Starseeds with the Starseeds. In this video, this is going to be a part 2. We left off with Leap from the Work Your Light deck in part 1. And in this portion, we are going to be going into the Starseed Oracle. So, again, this is going to be freestyle. Whatever comes out, comes out. Telling a story with the Starseeds for the Starseeds. Here we go. Oh, wait. Oh, we nearly forgot a quick prayer. Dear source of all that is, was, and will ever be, I thank you today and each and every day for all that you do and all that you do through me. I call upon you at this time to guide me in summoning the ascended masters, prophets, prophetesses, and the angels of the highest white light for guidance, protection, and clear and concise communication. Please give us the courage and strength necessary for us to face all of the challenges that are before us right now. Wrap us in your mighty wings and protect us from harsh negative energies. Thank you for always being here for us. Please surround us in your light of protection throughout our day. Be at our side and guide our words and actions to come from a place of love. Please clear our energy and vibration completely of negative thoughts and beliefs, releasing fears and self-limiting beliefs. Help us to fully and completely experience the love, light, and joy that is present in every moment and guide our path for the highest and greatest good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is, so it is, so it is. Here we go. Into the Starseed Oracle. We left off with taking that leap, getting a good run up and taking that leap. So here we go, continuing our story now with Lost Lands. Soul memories and gifts. We have done this before. So yeah, beloveds, this is not our first rodeo whatsoever. This is not our first rodeo. Lost Lands. What more can we learn from this card? We shall see. The world is far more ancient than our documented history suggests. As souls, many of us have experienced ancient eras on this planet that were much more advanced than ours today. As we begin to remember these times, the rememberings and gifts can come flooding back. Oh my goodness, do they ever. At this stage in Earth's timeline, we need the wisdom of the ancients to survive as a species. We're being called to connect with the lost wisdom of our own soul. If we feel guided to make a change in our life, to step into a new career path, birth a creation, or bring an idea to life but feel unprepared, this card is calling us to consider that we've done this before. Perhaps our soul has wisdom beyond what our lifespan can imagine. Perhaps the intuitive hits and ideas we are receiving are divinely guided. Perhaps we've been preparing for this time. Some think that lost lands exist in the past, others believe they exist today in a different dimension. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the souls of those who experience them. If this card comes to us, perhaps the wisdom of lost lands such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon exists within us, and through surrendering to the intelligence of our soul, we can unlock the seeds of these ancient lands so we can all learn from our mistakes and usher in a new age. And we can do so with an activation, placing your hand on the portal of your heart and whispering the following: I unlock any forgotten wisdom and soul gifts from lifetimes past. All right, we're going to go ahead and give the Starseed Oracle another good shuffle and see what else comes out. Here we go. Okay, that was 2 full passes. One more. Perhaps 3 times is the charm. Yep. Out comes loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addictions, and let God in. Ooh. So in part 1, the word no came out, reminding us that there was something that we were supposed to hold off on because there is a situation, person, place, or thing that we are currently dealing with that requires more of our attention at this time, because it is part of our soul's journey, regardless of where else we are also being pulled towards. For some of you, this may be an addiction of some sort. Something as simple as giving up sugar or giving up shopping. And I mean obsessive shopping. Quiet, Bella. And just handing it over, surrendering it to God. We are cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If we're clinging to anything, we're resisting the natural flow of who we are. The things we cling to are those we most need to let go of: the food, the substances, the relationship, the job, the people-pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let God into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us, or cling to it for fear of it not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us, whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears to us, we're being called to find the courage to loosen our grip and give up control, to release our coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening our grip doesn't mean that what we're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay. But you can be sure that what is for you will find you, and you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. And our soul inquiry, of course, is, what are we clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? At the bottom of the deck, we have we're not for everyone. Embrace our weirdness and face our true north. I read from this in part 1. And we're going to read from it again. This time from the guidebook. Oh my gosh. Try this again. Here we go. Oh goodness, face your true north. The world is filled with people who, no matter what we do, just won't like us. But it's also filled with those who will love us fiercely. We're being guided to embrace our weirdness, face our true north. Because those who will love us fiercely, they are our people. We are not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste precious time and gifts trying to convince others of our value. They won't ever want what we're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside us. We'll be wasting both our time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds that'll take precious time to heal. We're not for them, and they aren't for us. Politely wave them on and continue on our way. Sharing our path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling ours in the wrong direction. Keep facing our true north. This card means we're being called to embrace our uniqueness, to own our weirdness, to let the world see who we really are, to reveal our multifaceted, multidimensional nature, to not dim our light according to who is in our presence, to own all parts of ourselves so that our people, the ones who are the same as us, can recognize us when our paths cross. How can you embrace your weirdness and not care so much about what other people think? Okay, and we have yet another card from the bottom of the deck. Starkeeper, cosmic ancestors seed the light by staying grounded. So the message of getting grounded also came out in the other deck in part 1. Starkeeper. So there is so much significance for us in staying grounded right now. So, what's the dealio? What's the realio dealio with the Starkeeper? We are an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed our light in our unique way. We're likely being incarnated on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. We're at a tipping point now. The survival of Earth and all its species is coming to a head. The more grounded we remain during this transitional period, the more helpful we'll be. The more we tend to the flames of our own heart, the more love will anchor onto this planet. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in our soul. The more soul fragments we call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. We may be called to be in different places in the world to anchor this light, perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. We may also find ourselves experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded we remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become and the less reactive humanity will be. We're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and as part of a larger collective that brings about a shift in frequency. Trust that we can be in the world but not of it and lead a truly glorious life. Place your hand on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I acknowledge that I am a star keeper. I choose to anchor my light and stay as grounded as possible. All right, let's just keep this story flowing here. Let's see if we can get more cards to come out at once this time. With one full pass, and we did 4 cards, beginning with the Void, since it was the one to turn up first. Stop, embrace winter, great cosmic wound. Do keep in mind that it is wintertime in the southern hemisphere, so this is going to make sense to some people and maybe not so much to those in the northern hemisphere where we are experiencing summer. Either way, there's a much deeper message. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It is where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb, the fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting, it can feel both overwhelming, small, and huge. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow this fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you, regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become. We're being called to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest and to allow the winter of our life to do the work for us, to hand over our control and trust that just because we can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life is being knitted for us, right beneath the surface in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase, so it's not necessarily, it's not literally speaking on the winter season and the physical, but sometimes it can be. More often or not, it speaks on the seasons that occur within us. And there are times when we're being called to rest, go within our sacred space, and go rogue, so to speak, dormant, go within, resting, writing, learning, relearning, remembering, resurfacing again, with all those golden nuggets. When we're called to let go of all that we know and identify with, the void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase. When we're in the void, it can feel scary, and if we should be doing something, however, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mysteries of life. How are you being called to surrender to the unknown mystery of your life? We also have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Oh yes, lots of discussions all over the place, all over the World Wide Web, pertaining to New Earth. We're being guided to continue to hold that vision. Hold the line, beloveds. Hold the line. Don't give up now. You're closer than you think. We know it's hard to hold the frequency of a new age when it feels as if so much is crumbling and so many are losing faith. This is our sign that we're facing the right direction. We have a great gift in being able to see the potential of things before they exist. Tend to the new seeds. Dream them into existence. Don't lose faith now. Keep our focus fixed. Planting new seeds and bringing about a shift of the ages is no mean feat. It requires extreme trust and a radical vision. If we pulled this card, it's a reminder to have faith. We choose to be here, to be part of this global shift. Whether we're bringing it about through prayer and meditation or through working on a new project, job, or creation, keep going. It's happening. Don't give up now. The world needs more dreamers like us, more people with hope in their hearts. The road ahead may not be plain sailing. Ushering in a new age in times of change never is. We're being encouraged to remember that what we've been working toward for so long is almost here. Don't question ourselves now. Don't waver. Dig our devotion deeper. For if we do, in the not too distant future, we'll be able to sit back and watch all that we've so carefully planted and nurtured grow and bloom. It's possible. Keep focusing on our dreams. We are closer than we think. How can we keep holding the vision? The cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. That may very well be one of the many answers to that question. Okay? The cosmic heart. Cosmic heart. When we surrender to a state of devotion, we'll find ourselves flowing with all of life. We're being called to refocus our attention deep within, to the intelligence of our own heart. And this confirms what I said in part 1. The reason why we might be saying no to certain things right now is because we are still being guided in another direction, meaning going within, which is still part of our soul's journey, as much as what is pulling us in the other direction as well. But there is a divine order here that we're being guided to comply with at the same time, because the divine will trumps all. So yes, we're being called to refocus our attention deep within, to the intelligence of our own heart, to bow with deep reverence to our inner temple, to live our life in devotion to this place, to make our life one big moving prayer. Perhaps we felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why we're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps we've forgotten what made us start doing them in the first place. If so, this is our calling to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of our heart, to reconnect with the very center point of our heart, to get back to the essence of what we're about, to devote our life to what we care most about, to turn our gaze deep, 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 deep There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now we're being called to plant our soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of our own soul, to lose ourselves in the potency of what it is that most expands our heart, to live our life according to what makes us come alive rather than what everyone else thinks, to make our life one big moving prayer. How can you make your life a moving prayer? Star Brothers. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. That in and of itself could be yet another answer to the last question. It seems as though this flow has started where some of these cards are answering the questions from the others. Of course, there are numerous answers to numerous questions. But for some of you tuning in, you're going to know deep, 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 deep within that your soul brothers are part of the answer. We're more protected than we can imagine. It's safe to open the back of our heart. We're being called to be open to receive a new level of support now, from those in our life and from the benevolent beings we're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone, that it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open. That the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want us to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want us to feel deeply secure and safe, even if we're going through a difficult time. They want us to hand over our fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding us to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than we can ever imagine, both in the world and beyond. To call in our team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want us to learn to soften through life's up and downs and to learn to open our heart, especially when it most wants to harden. How can you open yourself up to receiving more support? At the bottom of the deck, we have trust the timing. Trust the wave we came in on. Time is not running out. Oh, I love it when this card comes out. I love it, love it, love it when this card comes out. That card came out in the last session that I did. So let's do a bit of revisiting here. Trust the timing. And trust the wave we came in on, because time is not running out. So often those who feel like they're here for a reason sense that time is running out, and they spend their life worrying that they might miss their moment. But the only way our life or our moment is to spend our time worrying about missing it. It's never too late to answer a calling. But the only way to miss our life or our moment is to spend our time worrying about missing it. It's never too late to answer a call, and we're never too old. The tides of our life are magnificently orchestrated to come in and out in perfect unison. Don't race ahead and ride a wave that was never meant for us. We'll waste our precious time and energy when instead you could be enjoying your life. Everything has a season, and we're being called to trust the one we're in. Don't let impatience or comparison, competition or paranoia disturb the seeds. It seems that everyone has anxiety these days, constantly scanning for something that they might have missed or a possible threat. Disclaimer alert, not a doctor, and this is not a diagnosis. Keeping our mind and body pointed in the same direction as our soul is near impossible at such reactive speeds. Right now, we're being reminded to take a breath and trust the wave we came in on, to trust the season we're in. Time isn't running out. There's plenty of time, there's no rush, and it's never too late. How can we trust the timing of our life a little more? Behind that, at the bottom of the deck, we have Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. So this is going to be our last message for today's session, because the messages are somewhat starting to repeat themselves a bit here. Deciding to do that has actually benefited me greatly, and I owe all of that to my dear friend Rebecca, who is actually teaching me better ways to figure out how to draw things to a close within a shorter window of time. Here we go. Last message for today's session and today's storytelling. A mysterious pulse is woven through all of life. The planet itself has a rhythm. We can see it in the seasons and the tides. In our world artificial lighting, long working hours, and modern conveniences, it's easy for us to feel stuck and off kilter. It's time to reconnect with nature and surrender to the pulse of the earth. Earth pulsing is my favorite tool for surrendering to the rhythmic pulse of the mother and the entire universe. Today, many of us are disconnected from the land beneath us. Somewhere along the way, a severing happened, a moment when it became too painful to stay connected. We feel unsupported and as if we don't belong. We look to other people and the external world to fill the void of the connection, holding and belonging once given to us by the earth, taking, clutching, conquering, longing for others to receive us fully as the mother once did, forgetting that she's still here, waiting for us to remember and activate the part of us that longs to receive her embrace. When we constantly connect with the earth, a veil is lifted and she opens up and receives us more fully. We're able to drink from her sweet waters and release what no longer serves us. Stagnant energy falls away and we become connected to all things on this planet. I surrender to the pulse of the mother. May my heart beat in unison with her. Beautiful. So that concludes today's portion of Starseeds storytelling. I thank you so very much, each and every one of you, for tuning in. Much gratitude and appreciation, of course. I hope that these messages and these stories find you well, beloveds. On that note, happy Monday and brightest blessings.